Hi, I'm Bernard Jones, and I have the wonderful privilege of helping to lead our congregation in worship on Sundays. Today's Daily Hope passage is found in 2 Chronicles chapter 12. One way the Bible is unique is in its abundant claims and references to the heart. There are so many references to the heart that every time I come to that word in my Bible, I take my pencil, I draw a little icon of a heart, a reminder to pay particular attention here. David, king of Israel, the man whom almost half the Psalms are attributed to, was known as a man after God's own heart. In 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verse 9, as David prepares for his death and is relinquishing the throne to his son Solomon, David gives the future king these very solemn instructions. And you, my son Solomon, acknowledge the God of your father and serve him with wholehearted devotion and with a willing mind. For the Lord searches every heart and understands every motive behind the thoughts. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will reject you. Solomon becomes king. And early in his reign, Solomon has a humble heart and remains close to God. Later we are told of his wisdom and riches and his influence. In 2 Chronicles 9, it reads, all the kings of the earth sought audience with Solomon to hear the wisdom God had put in his heart. Later in Solomon's reign, we read that he had many wives and concubines, and his heart was turned away from the Lord. Here in 2 Chronicles 12, in 2 Chronicles 10, we were introduced to the one who would succeed Solomon, Rehoboam. To be fair, Rehoboam had two tough acts to follow. His grandfather David, a military hero, the one whom Israel became most strong and dominant under, and then his father Solomon, who was full of wealth and wisdom. So chapter 12 details the conceit and the pride of Rehoboam and the leaders of Israel, the prophet Shemaiah's convicting words, the confession and the contrition of Rehoboam and the elders, the Lord's compassion on Israel, yet the consequences that Israel must face. Verse 14 of chapter 12 stands as the ultimate summary of the reign of Solomon's son, Rehoboam. The chapter has only 16 verses and closes out the historical reference to this king who is immediately after Solomon. It says, verse 14, he did evil because he had not set his heart on seeking the Lord. Rehoboam, like all of us, has a choice to make. Where will I place my trust, my heart, in myself or in the Lord? Why does the Bible talk about the heart so much? Because the heart refers to our mind and our will. Because our hearts are easily drawn toward any number of things, our position and power, our passions, our possessions, our pedigree, and ultimately, how we set our heart will determine what we do on earth and our destiny in eternity. Our heart, mind, will is ours to give to whomever or whatever we desire. So the Bible is full of reminders regarding the heart. Jeremiah 17, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind to reward a man according to his conduct, according to what his deeds deserve. Jeremiah 29, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Or Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Jesus, speaking of the heart, says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And speaking of what defiles a man, Jesus says, the things that come out of a man come out of the mouth. The things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and these make a man unclean. For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimony, and slander. It says in Matthew 12, for out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. The point? We as well as Rehoboam do evil when we do not set our heart on seeking the Lord. So saints, remember Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And to close today, a prayer out of Philippians. Paul writes, "Do not be anxious for anything, but in everything by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." We will see you at church this Sunday at 9 or 11 a.m. or 6 p.m., and may God richly bless you.